Happy Thanksgiving, Ray.
Well, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Jeff.
And happy Thanksgiving to you as well. We appreciate you riding along with Ray and I here on Thanksgiving Day. Whether you're bound for grandfather's house, a friend's house, or if you're staying home, we're grateful you joined us for our Thanksgiving special.
That we are. So we're driving up Route 7 in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. We just passed the railroad tracks.
Yep, and we're going to make a right coming up right up here onto Main Street.
All right, got it.
And we should park just over there on the right.
Okay. We're standing in front of the Stockbridge General Store building, which is also the Main Street Cafe. And Jeff, did you bring your guitar?
I did, Ray. I feel a song coming on for this Thanksgiving adventure.
Okay, are we busking for our dinner here on Main Street?
No, we've come to the location of a restaurant so iconic that the story behind it launched a story that launched a song, a movie, and a Thanksgiving radio tradition that's been going on for more than half a century now.
I think I know where we are.
Ray, this place wasn't always called Main Street Cafe. It used to be called The Back Room, but the world knows it best by the song title of Arlo Guthrie's biggest hit. We've come to Stockbridge, Massachusetts to visit Alice's Restaurant. Hello, I'm Jeff Belanger.
And I'm Ray Auger. Thanks for joining us for the Thanksgiving special episode of the New England Legends podcast. Episode number 326, if you are keeping track. We're on a mission to chronicle every legend in New England one story at a time. We do that with a new episode every Thursday, a From the Vault episode every Monday, the New England Legends television series that you can watch right now on Amazon Prime, and our website where you can find a map to point you to every story that we've covered.
Our website is also the place to find out about all things Jeff and Ray, including a link to buy my brand new book, The Fright Before Christmas, available now in hardcover, ebook, and audiobook, narrated by yours truly.
Now we'll explore Alice's Restaurant right after a word from our sponsor. So, downtown Stockbridge is a cute place.
It is totally cute. Quintessential Main Street, New England. Now there's small shops and cafes, churches. It's perfect for taking a stroll. And it was here that an experience launched a story that turned into a song that turned into a Thanksgiving tradition. So, Ray, you've been a radio guy for decades.
Yes.
Have you ever played Alice's Restaurant by Arlo Guthrie?
No, never. That song was never in rotation at any of the stations I ever worked for.
So when I was growing up, the local classic rock station used to play that song one time per year, always at noon on Thanksgiving Day. I mean, it became a thing, you know? It's something we tuned in for out of habit.
The song Alice's Restaurant Masacree came out in October of 1967 at 18 minutes and 24 seconds in length. One thing record companies were sure of, no radio station will ever play this song on the radio.
No way. It's far too long. Yet, somehow, it cut on the radio anyway.
The song is a strange tale that begins in Stockbridge, Massachusetts, 58 Thanksgivings ago. So we'll head back to precisely November 25th, 1965 to check this out. It's Thursday, November 25th, 1965, here in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. The conflict in Vietnam has been going on for a decade now, but America directly got involved just 7 months ago. It's a tense time for the country. But here in Stockbridge, folks are trying to focus on Thanksgiving Day, seeing family and friends. Speaking of friends, driving into town right now is a red Volkswagen microbus.
Yep, and riding inside are two buddies, 19-year-old Richard Robbins from Poughkeepsie, New York, and 18-year-old Arlo Guthrie from Queens, New York.
Arlo Guthrie is a bit of a celebrity.
How so?
For one, his father is Woody Guthrie, who wrote a bunch of hits, including the most famous, This Land Is Your Land.
Oh, right. Man, it's got to be tough living in the shadow of someone like that.
I'm sure it is, but Arlo is 18 years old.
Right.
He's not thinking about that right now. He's focused on going to see some friends, artist and restaurateur Alice Brock, her husband Ray, and their dog Fasha. Alice, Ray, and their dog live in the bell tower of a local church that's no longer used for services.
Wow. These folks don't keep a tidy church, do they?
No, there's all kinds of junk and bags of garbage down here. You'd think they'd rather not live among this trash.
I guess technically they live above it.
There you go.
So Arlo and Richard seem a little disturbed as well. Even though they came here for Thanksgiving dinner, they feel obliged to load up the garbage in their VW microbus and haul it off to the town dump for their friends. So off they go to the Stockbridge town dump.
Well, there's just one problem.
What's that?
It's Thanksgiving. The town dump is closed and chained off.
Oh, good point. Still, Arlo and Richard seem undeterred. So they drive off again toward Prospect Street. And that's when they notice a hill near a pull-off.
Oh, look at that. There's a pile of garbage at the bottom of the hill there.
Right. And one big pile of garbage is better than two separate piles of garbage.
And rather than bring that pile up here, the two kids figure it's easier to dump this new pile down below. And quick as they please, Arlo and Richard toss their friend's trash down the hill and drive back for a Thanksgiving dinner that can't be beat.
It's Friday. Everyone is sleepy here in the old church turned home that's now free from garbage. It's a slow start to the day, but that's when the phone rings. It's Stockbridge police officer William Obenheim.
Looks like Arlo and Richard are busted. Police found a letter addressed to Ray, and so now they know who the trash belonged to.
And rather than let their friend get in trouble, Arlo and Richard head down to the police station where they're arrested. It seems Chief Obenheim wants to make an example out of them, and so the pair are told to appear in court the following day. The Berkshire Eagle newspaper picks up the story from here.
Because they couldn't find a dump open in Great Barrington, two youths threw a load of refuse down a Stockbridge hillside on Thanksgiving Day. Saturday, Richard J. Robbins, 19, of Poughkeepsie, New York, and Arlo Guthrie, 18, of Howard Beach, New York, each paid a fine of $25 in Lee District Court after pleading guilty of illegally disposing of rubbish. Special Justice James E. Hannon ordered the youths to remove all the rubbish. They did so Saturday afternoon following a heavy rain. Police Chief William J. Obenheim of Stockbridge said later the youths found dragging the junk up the hillside much harder than throwing it down. He said he hoped their cases would be an example to others who are careless about disposal of rubbish. Chief Obenheim told the court he spent, quote, a very disagreeable 2 hours looking through the rubbish before finding a clue to who had thrown it there.
I'll bet it was a disagreeable time sifting through garbage.
So they were arrested, fined, and forced to clean up the mess they made. Now, having learned their lesson, Arlo and Richard return home to New York and back to a world that's watching the Vietnam War heat up and America getting drawn further and further into the conflict. And that brings us back to today.
As you know, if you've listened to the song, it's not a song so much about Alice, the restaurant, or littering. It's a song about the military draft.
Right.
Later in the song, Arlo Guthrie explains how he went to Whitehall Street in New York to report for the draft, where he was injected, inspected, detected, infected, neglected, and selected. And just when it looked like he was going to have to serve in the Army, they asked him if he'd ever been arrested.
And then it hits Arlo. The Army doesn't want criminals in their rank and file. Yes, he had been arrested. Went to court, handcuffs, the whole thing. And suddenly, there was a song. Alice's Restaurant Masacree. Ray, I brought my guitar. Should we massacre the masacree?
Yeah, I'm ready. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. Walk right in and it's around the back, just a half a mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant.
And one weird protest song was born. Like we said earlier, it came out in October of 1967. Now, ironically, Arlo Guthrie's biggest hit came out the same month that his father, Woody Guthrie, died from Huntington disease at age 55.
The Deadpan Story song is mostly true, with just a few liberties taken. For example, in the song, he claims the police officer found a letter in the pile of garbage with Arlo Guthrie's name on it. As we pointed out in the story, the paper actually had his friend's name on it, which led police to the correct house.
According to the November 29th, 1965 Berkshire Eagle article we found, the junk tossed over the hill included a divan, many empty bottles, regular household trash, paper, and boxes. Enough to fill up a VW bus.
And the rubbish was dumped into Nelson Foote Sr.'s property on Prospect Street. The song was even made into a movie back in 1969 starring Arlo Guthrie as himself. And do you know who else played himself in the movie?
Who?
Stockbridge Police Chief William Obenheim, better known as Officer Obi.
That's amazing. Well, I guess he had a sense of humor about the whole thing.
He became a bit of a pop culture figure from the song and the movie.
I imagine he would. So today there's still many radio stations who still play this 18-minute and 34-second masacree each Thanksgiving Day because, well, it's a song that takes place on Thanksgiving. And maybe it's a reminder to be thankful for all of life's experiences, both good and bad, because you never know when an arrest for littering might get you out of a war. What do you think, Ray? Should we go out on the chorus?
Absolutely. Let's do it. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. Walk right in, it's around the back, just a half a mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant.
Accepting Alice. Thank you, Arlo Guthrie, for the oddest Thanksgiving song we've ever heard. And that brings us to After the Legend, where we take a deeper cut into this week's story and often veer off course.
After the Legend is brought to you by our Patreon patrons. We are so thankful for them. They help us with our hosting, production, marketing, travel, and all kinds of other costs it takes to bring you 2 stories each week. It's just $3 per month, and for that, you get early ad-free access to new episodes, plus bonus episodes and content that no one else gets to hear. We'd be most thankful if you'd head over to patreon.com/New England Legends to sign up.
And to see some pictures of Stockbridge, Massachusetts, the old headlines, click on the link in our episode description or go to our website and click on episode 326. So you may notice, if you're really paying attention, if you're a real fan of the podcast, we always post our episodes at 10:30 a.m. on the feed on Thursdays. But the Thanksgiving episode goes up at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Because
oh, yeah.
Right. Because
we do that every Thanksgiving.
We do this every Thanksgiving because this one went up a little bit early. Because we know some of you are driving to relatives and stuff, and we wanted to make sure you could listen in the car. If it keeps your family quiet for a little bit, we're happy to help.
You may be driving over the river and through the woods, perhaps.
Which was another Thanksgiving special. That was originally a Thanksgiving song. We did that on another one, which is...
How many other Thanksgiving songs are there that you can think of?
Well, that one got hijacked by Christmas.
It did.
Right?
Yeah, so so that's not considered a Thanksgiving song.
Though it was originally, I think it was stolen by Christmas. So
Arlo's has stayed true for Thanksgiving, though. That's good.
I'm trying to think of all the other Thanksgiving songs I know. Did Charlie Brown?
I was just thinking the same thing,
Yeah, I don't know.
They must be. I think the original Peanuts song.
Right. Right.
That was used, but I can't think of anything special. Oh, Adam Sandler. The Thanksgiving Day song.
Okay, that's 2.
That's a fun one.
Right. Turkey.
We should do that one sometime. He's from New Hampshire.
He is? Oh, I think he'd join us.
You know what? Why not?
If we got lucky.
It's about 20, 25 years old at this point.
Yeah, and he's not doing anything.
But you never know.
Adam, if you're listening, come next Thanksgiving. Let's do this.
I'm going to try to reach out to him.
Let's do this song.
Talk about the origins, how he picked the celebrities that he picked.
Right.
Isn't it? No. I'm sorry. That was the Hanukkah song. Oh, we can do that one too.
Turkey. Right. Okay.
You got your choice.
Hanukkah special. Yeah.
We'll only do one with you, Adam, though. Yeah. Hanukkah or Thanksgiving.
We can't be bothered to spend too much time with you. So yeah, you want Hanukkah or Thanksgiving? And the funny thing is, this holiday is so American. It's so everyone celebrates it.
Yeah.
Because it's not a religious one. It includes everybody. You can be thankful for all kinds of things. Born as a national day of thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks to George Washington first, and then later I think it was more immortalized by President Lincoln.
Yeah.
And then moved to the 4th Thursday of November during the Great Depression, because it was about because people retailers needed more shopping time.
Oh yeah,
for the holidays.
Yeah.
And so they said because forever Thanksgiving was the last Thursday of the month, which it still is sometimes, depending on where the math falls. But they needed as much shopping time as possible. So
even back then they were considering that.
Well, that's when they really started looking at the holiday season as a time for retailers to keep the economy floating.
Right.
And so what was good for the economy is good for America.
Yeah.
And so Thanksgiving was moved to the 4th Thursday.
Do you decorate for Thanksgiving?
You know,
because I know you do Halloween.
Yeah, I think we leave a couple. So my mother does something. I really sort of don't, but my mother does something very creative, and God bless her. So she has these pumpkins. They look like carved jack-o'-lanterns, but they've got a bulb inside, and you plug them in, right? So what she does is they're out at Halloween, and she plugs them in, and they're jack-o'-lanterns. And then once Halloween is passed, she turns them around because the back sides are smooth, and they become Thanksgiving decorations. Now,
That's
of course,
smart.
At dinner time, I will take those pumpkins and I will turn them back around,
of course,
to be jack-o'-lanterns. And
we do. We have a lot of pumpkins for Halloween.
Yeah.
That we take everything else down and we leave the pumpkins up. But lately, the last few years, we go right into Christmas.
Yeah.
Everything comes down November 1st. And while we're putting stuff away anyway, might as well bring down the Christmas stuff.
The reality is now at this point, today is Thanksgiving Day. When this episode comes out, people have carte blanche now. Like, it's full on Christmas.
Well, there's only 4.5 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It's really not that much time left.
It's not.
It's almost exactly a month.
That's right. Yeah, no, it's coming quick. And so now, of course, everybody, but I've noticed, have you noticed this year the lights seem to be up early?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
No, I don't.
Some people aren't.
You do you. You know what?
Okay, I'm surprised you said that because I'd get yelled at from other people.
No, I think, seriously, if it brings you joy.
Yes.
But I do want to tip my hat to a house I saw in New Hampshire. I was driving back. This was, about the 12th, 14th maybe of November. I was doing a talk up in New Hampshire, and on the way home, driving through some back roads, you know those 18-foot skeletons that are like $500 at Home Depot?
Oh, yeah.
Like for Halloween? They're amazing, right? I would love one. So someone had the 18-foot skeleton holding up Christmas lights on their house.
Perfect.
And I'm just like, oh, chef's kiss, right? Like I wanted to pull over, but it was night, it was dark, and I didn't want to I wanted to knock on the door, like, you're probably in your jammies, but I just got to tell you, this is amazing.
Thank you for doing this.
This is no notes. You can't improve this.
One year we had a skeleton upstairs dressed up for Halloween.
Yeah.
It was about 6 feet tall. And instead of putting it away, there was nowhere to store this thing. I didn't want to throw it away. So we just put a Santa hat on it.
Perfect.
And then in the summer, there's a Hawaiian shirt on him.
Right.
And it became seasonal. He just stayed where he was, and we just, hearts or some kind of Cupid hat or something.
Yeah.
For Valentine's Day and so on and so on.
What are you looking forward to eating most today?
Today, stuffing. That's my favorite side dish.
Yep. Yeah.
I love turkey. I don't overdo it with the turkey, but I do overdo it with the potatoes. Mashed potatoes,
of course,
and stuffing.
Yeah, no, I love that.
And shrimp. Sometimes there's shrimp cocktail.
There's shrimp cocktail at my house.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Not everybody does that.
Maybe it's a New England thing. I don't know, because I grew up with it. Like, because shrimp's expensive.
Yeah,
and that would 2 days, right? Thanksgiving Day appetizer and Christmas.
Yeah.
That's
Same
when
here.
Mom would bust out the shrimp cocktail,
Yep.
and that was the fancy, like, whoa! Now you know it's now you know it's for real, because we're investing in shrimp.
Same thing here.
Yeah, so
that may have been at the first Thanksgiving.
That probably,
because it wasn't turkey.
No, that probably made more sense.
Yeah,
that was lobster, I imagine,
which was really cheap then. Oh, not well.
Yeah, you just went out and got it.
You just went and got it. But you know what I mean? It wasn't
free.
It wasn't as fancy as it is now.
No, now it's a
that's all they could
thing.
Yeah,
but that is one of those things, and like my daughter doesn't eat it, so I'm just like, oh, more for me.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I'm very excited about it, and it's one of those great holidays where it's just nobody should be alone. And I think, in my family, the rule is always like, if you know someone that has nowhere to go, there's more than enough food
just
here.
put a plate out for them.
Yeah, no problem.
Just say, come on over. It's on the stoop.
There's always, we did one.
Don't come in.
One Thanksgiving we did, I remember, we couldn't have a table because there's too many people.
Yep.
So my mom just got all these like cafeteria trays, and you just sat wherever you could sit.
I like that.
It was all good. It was perfect.
I'm not much of a fancy dinner kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like we usually have the game on in the background.
Right.
I don't get dressed up. We're usually at home, but we're going to the Cape for a few hours. So I'm not thrilled about traveling, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's my parents, where they live, they don't have a dining room, and there's no room for a dining room table. And so what they did was, and this was my suggestion because I had a friend that did it years ago, free tip out there, folks. If you don't have a dining room, but you have a lot of people to feed, hopefully you have sawhorses. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So what my dad he puts out 2 sawhorses, and he bought a 4x8 sheet of plywood.
Yep.
At the Home Depot or whatever. He cut it vertically, and then what you do is you put in door hinges. So it's flat when it's open, and then it hinges shut.
Oh, okay.
And so then it's 2x8, right?
Yeah,
2x8. And then he painted it. So it doesn't have any splinters or anything, sanded it and painted it. And what he does is he puts the sawhorses in their living room, lays this 8-foot 4x8 sheet of plywood down on it, puts a nice tablecloth over it. Nobody doesn't know that it's a nice dining room table.
That's smart.
And then you just put all the chairs around it.
Yep.
And then when dinner's over, hey, help me put the dining room table away, right?
Or you could throw it away if you really had to.
Well, we use it for all the family dinners
Yeah.
down there. So we fold it up, we pop it in the garage, put the sawhorses away. They have their living room back, and they don't need to buy an expensive dining room table. It's just a sheet of plywood.
Yeah.
And that works for us. You know, you just get a nice tablecloth.
Did you ever have to sit at the kids' table?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
So once you graduate to the main table, and then you got cousins who are like 13 and they're still stuck over there. It's the saddest thing.
Oh, but you're
looking
just like,
over.
Look at you, you little punk. You're not
They're
a grown
too
up
tall
like
for
me.
the table.
Yeah, right.
They're hunched over trying to eat their food.
We used to have this
Screaming kids next to them.
when my nephew and my daughter, they're only like 2 years apart, and we had this little red plastic table. That was perfect for that, and they loved it.
Yeah.
They had their own little fancy table right next to the big table where the grown-ups were.
Yeah.
But
The big kid table.
now they're at the 4x8 sheet of plywood.
That's nice too,
It
though.
does. Totally, it works. It's great. And
What's
yeah.
your favorite food? You didn't tell me.
God, I love it all. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing I won't have. You
Just
know
throw
what I
it
mean?
on one plate.
And
Don't even separate it. Just kind of mash it all together.
in general, I'm a very spatial person. I understand like puzzles and space that stuff takes up.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, that part of my brain shuts down on Thanksgiving Day because I look at my plate. I'm like, oh, I love the stuffing. Give me a lot of that. Oh,
Yeah.
I love the mashed potatoes.
Right.
Give me a lot of that. Ooh, love the turkey. I'm like, I'm running out of real estate. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
like, I still want that, and that, and I don't have room. So, then I feel like a total glutton.
Do you like your cranberry shaped like the can?
No, I'm a little snobby that way. I want the berries. in
Oh,
there.
the berries.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, in a pinch, I'll eat the can shaped stuff.
Marshmallows on your sweet potatoes?
Yes.
Oh, that was quick.
You?
I don't eat sweet potatoes, so
Oh, excuse me.
sorry.
Well, it's
A
like
little
having
snobby like
it's
that.
like having a little dessert with your dinner.
Yeah, I guess.
My mom used to make this jelloed salad. It's Jello with like fruit in it, but and other stuff that
Yeah.
made it way more in the dessert realm than
Could you identify the other stuff?
I don't know. But my daughter loved it.
Yeah.
But she'd make this big Jello mold, and only my daughter would have like a little piece and be like, I want the other stuff.
Yeah.
And then I would have like a little bit out of just like, well, I should have some too. And
Right.
we ended up throwing away like 3/4 of it. So she's not making it this year.
You can't overdo it, like you said, with the spatial stuff. You have
Yeah.
to portion it out properly and then go back.
Pick your battles.
Pick your battles. I like that. Anything you watch? Any traditions, TV, movies?
Yeah, we'll watch. We'll put the parade on, but it's just we don't even have the volume. Like
Yeah,
because the
every
family's
year
around,
I
yeah.
got to watch it. I'm like, oh, we all got to sit down and watch it, and then all I do is complain about the lip syncing.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know because the sound's off.
There you go.
In my mind, they're singing.
The Broadway shows, they do one song, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that was beautiful, move on. But then they do 2 or 3 more. I'm like, what is this? I mean, you didn't have enough floats for this thing?
Yeah.
And I can't figure out how they do it. I don't think those dancers are in the parade, right? They just kind of come out.
Right.
How do you time out the parade? They're all moving.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's somebody's getting paid a lot of money
They
to make sure
figured
that
that
thing
out.
still
And
moves.
then we'll watch football, and
Yep.
none of our teams are playing. So it's actually sort of nice to watch a football game where you don't have a dog in the race.
Right, yeah.
You're just kind of like, oh, I just want to see a good game, and so
Will it be though? I mean, it's the Lions. I mean, are they? I didn't even know.
Lions are good.
Are they?
They're
Oh, I had no idea.
The Lions are doing really well this year.
Okay.
I have a lot of friends in Michigan that are just like, we've never seen anything like this, and they keep saying like, I'm sure they'll blow it, but for now, wow,
We'll take what we got now.
they're doing really well.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, it's a great movie. Yeah.
We usually watch that.
Oh, that's you know what? Because we're coming home. We're driving to Connecticut in the morning,
Yep.
and we'll drive back the same day, and then probably end up having because we'll eat dinner at like 1
Yeah.
or 2, and then you're gonna get even though when it's over, you're like, I'm never gonna eat again. Around like 7 o'clock at night, you're
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, oh, it's time for that sandwich.
Yeah.
The New Englander.
Yeah.
Right.
We actually go to our friend's house that night. So we do the
Friendsgiving.
lunch, and then we do Friendsgiving
Nice.
with tons of food. Barbie Rice, who you know.
Yeah.
And she loves the kitchen. So she makes, it's not even like leftovers. It's a whole new meal.
Well, so it's funny. We have the same menu year after year after year. Like, I mean, there's these carrots that are made in like maple syrup, and they're so good. Especially like the bigger the carrots, the sweeter they are.
Oh my gosh.
So big old carrots like made in like this maple sauce, and it's so good,
Maple
delicious
sauce?
maple syrup. Yeah,
Oof.
it's just amazing.
Sign me up.
It's so good, and so like it's the same menu that we had last year, and I can't wait for every bit of it. Right? Like I don't care, bore me all you want.
Yeah.
Like I'm so psyched.
If you were to introduce a new food, what would you do?
I have no idea. I mean,
No.
you could say like, well, maybe you make like a sausage stuffing, which
Oh, yeah.
My mom does like a meat and bread stuffing.
See, I'm a Stouffer's guy. I think we talked about this.
Yeah.
I'm Stouffer's, just boxed.
She uses Stouffer's, but
Yeah.
then adds meat to it.
For some reason, I was thinking of cocktail wieners. I don't know why, but when I said new food to introduce,
I wouldn't kick that out
a
of
bowl
bed.
of cocktail wieners.
I wouldn't say no to
Right?
that.
I might do that this year. Just that's what I'll bring.
That pigs in a blanket.
Pigs in a, oh my gosh.
Oh my god!
When's the
as
last time you had
appetizer-
pigs in a blanket?
too long? If
Like grade school, I think.
those are once in a blue moon. You see them in like a buffet at like a restaurant.
Yeah.
Not a good restaurant, but
Yeah.
but you're just when you see them, how can you resist?
Or the breakfast version, a sausage wrapped in pancakes.
I'm in. Bring it.
Thick sausage, too, not the little
No.
skinny ones.
Yeah.
Not the Johnson.
What would you add to the menu?
Yeah, I think but cocktail wieners the only thing I can think of.
You know what happened? Generation after generation, year after year, the menu's been perfected.
Yeah, that's
Right.
it.
All the improvements have been made by like our grandparents.
Yeah.
It's so there's no room left.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
All the great foods are being served that
They're
day.
being served. Whatever it is you like, your family Thanksgiving, like, I mentioned the carrots. Maybe you don't like carrots. That's fine, right?
Right.
But you have your own thing.
But I do appreciate that they're there.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I like and this is dumb, holy snobby. I like the color diversity.
Oh, sure.
Right.
The greens with the beans.
I need
and
a little
the
orange with the carrots. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need the
Well, that's one meal that you just look at and you know that's Thanksgiving.
That's right. And why do we not have it any other time?
I don't know. Well, sometimes on a menu at a restaurant, you'll see like the Thanksgiving sandwich, and it's got
Right.
everything on it.
Which I will have that night. It's got to have the turkey
Right.
and the stuffing and the cranberry sauce on nice bread.
And gravy.
Yeah.
Would you mix the gravy with the cranberry sauce?
I don't know.
That seems like a
It might be
problem.
too messy of a sandwich.
Yeah.
But nothing like a restaurant where you can get anything you want.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We hope you get to spend it with the people you love. We'd be thankful if you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss a single story. And we'd be even more grateful if you posted a review for us online and shared our episodes on your social media. It goes a long way in helping us spread the word about what we do. Then, go ahead and reach out to us anytime through our website with your own story leads. We appreciate being a part of this community with you.
We're thankful to Marv Anderson for lending his voice acting talents this week. We're thankful to our sponsors, our Patreon patrons, and we're thankful to John Judd for our theme music.
Till next time, remember,
The bizarre is closer than you think.